If you like this episode, please subscribe, share with others, rate and review so we can continue to bring you great programming.
This is The Thing About Cars, a podcast for car enthusiasts and the people who love them.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Thing About Cars. Very excited about today's topic and guests. We have around the table Mr. Dave Pauly. How are you, Dave?
I am so excited. Every time Loxley is with us is one of the best shows. Yeah. And how she's enough to make a boy go straight.
Best answer I've heard in ages. Thank you for that.
that voice you're hearing is the one, the only Loxley Brown. How are you, Loxley?
Fantastic. I am so excited to tell you guys what we did in Indianapolis, and Ann Sophie's going to rule with her stories. You just wait till you hear.
I can't wait to hear it. Tim, how are you, Tim?
Doing great. Thanks, Maggie.
Excellent. And Dawn Randolph has made it. Yay, Dawn.
Hello, everyone. Woo.
Right.
Hey, Dawn.
This Sunday, we're hopefully you're out driving.
Right. And our the star guest of the hour, Ann Sophie. Ann Sophie, how are you?
I'm good.
And is forgive my ignorance here, but is the whole name Ann Sophie, or is there
the whole name?
Okay, well, thank you.
I like it. It's kind of like a share thing.
Yeah. Okay, so what she hasn't told you is she's from the French Canadian province of Quebec, and she did quite a road trip to come join us. And I'm going to let her share that story.
Yeah. Well, let's set the stage first before we get into the actual story. How Loxley, how did you meet Ann Sophie?
So she is one of the members of Club Athena, and one of the three girls chosen to go to Girls at Track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a incredible event called Girls at Track that DHL delivered to us with Andretti Autosports driver Jamie Chadwick. And let me tell you, this was the most incredible 3 days. I've done this quite a few times, and this one, it was a moonshot. It was just beautiful, the way that everything just came together and all of the stuff that we got to do.
That's fantastic. So, Ann Sophie, how did you get involved? How did you find Club Athena? What was the process to actually making that road trip?
Yeah, so I decided to want to get involved in motorsports in December. So at my high school, my counselor plugged me in with the engineer in Quebec, and he's been helping me out ever since. And he is the one who sent me the ad of Club Athena and the event they were doing in motorsports. So he told me check it out. It's an amazing opportunity. So yeah, I just signed up and I got choose. And I was really surprised, but it was such a great news. And yeah.
Very cool. So you hopped in a car and went to the Speedway?
Yeah, it was a long road trip.
How long did it take?
We went with the electric car, so we had to stop every 100 kilometers to charge a car. So it takes 20 hours.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, we're finding that you have to stop a lot. So what did you do for those 45 minutes every time you charged?
Oh, sleep.
Sleep. Yes. That's too funny.
Okay, so now the other thing she's not telling you too is that her father came with her, and he does not have a driver's license.
Uh-oh.
He did all the driving. Yes.
Man, that's awesome.
Dedication right there.
All right, so my first question, Ann Sophie, is what kind of EV are you driving? What kind of car is it?
Car. I'm driving. My car is a Hyundai Accent, but we went with a Kona.
I see. Okay. So the Kona was the electrical vehicle.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Very cool. So the road trip passed. It took 20 hours to get there. Tell us about the experience. What happened? What did you see? What the highlights, the low parts? What was it?
It was a lot of field and a lot of nothing. But yeah, it's just a straight line for most of the time. And after that, Indianapolis is very stressful to drive in. We don't have the 6 ways in Quebec. The most I've seen is 3 ways. So like just arriving in Indianapolis with 6 ways and all the trucks like passing by, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to get hit by a truck. So yeah.
Welcome to driving in the USA.
Right.
I know it's got to be a lot different than Canada. Yeah.
Yes, the USA, where everything is bigger, but not necessarily better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the car is like kilometers, and like you worked with miles, so I didn't know like the speed limits.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Right. My general rule of thumb in these days is as long as you're following traffic, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So you got there, and I mean, tell us about the experience. What happened when you showed up? What did you see? You were handing out business cards, Loxley says. What happened? Tell us about it.
Yeah. Like the at the track, like when I showed up, we meet like with all the different parts of like the championship, like the Honda, like the supplier, and like Firestone who supply the tires, and like the teams. And yeah, I want to get involved in motorsports. Like I know that's what I want to do. So I just handed out business cards for people. Just they know like I'm there and I'm searching for opportunities. So like they can call me back just if they heard about anything. So yeah.
Did you all get to drive? Did they get to drive around the track?
Oh God, no. Really?
Bummer.
I mean, we're talking about $1 million car here. These girls are not going to drive that.
Sometimes, depending on what racing series event you're going to, they offer VIP rides.
Oh yeah, this was IndyCar and Indy Next, and they did. And she hasn't told the whole full story yet, so I'll just jump in here and tell you guys the whole full story. On Thursday, DHL bussed us from Indianapolis to Cincinnati. So we got to go behind the scenes of everything at their global hub there at the airport, which took some top secret clearance for us to get in there and do all of this. It's not something everybody in the world gets to do. So, they got to go inside a 777 that was a cargo airplane and see what an empty interior of a plane looks like and how they move the loads into there. Eleanor chased down a tug operator and got the whole explanation of what a tug does. There's all these, we saw the new robot that DHL is going to start using to help move loads around. So there's a lot of innovation happening in that world too. But then on Friday, we went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and spent the entire day on Friday just appointment after appointment meeting with HPD. So she got to meet the trackside engineers, HPD, Serena and Nicole. And they talked about all of the data engineering that they pull out of the cars, because in IndyCar, there's two power plant manufacturers. There's HPD and there's Chevrolet. And so there's an engineer assigned to each one of the cars. So those engineers become like a part of that family, of that race team, and really get to know those cars. And then all of the data that they're pulling, they're the ones really making the decision of, how are we going to change this? How are we going to adapt this to what the driver wants and needs? And they go in there and do that with all of the data that they can input into the engine. So we had that fun with HPD. Then we went over to meet with Jamie Chadwick. So, Anne-Sophie, why don't you take over talking about meeting Jamie Chadwick? I mean, she was 3-time W Series champion.
Honestly, she was very impressive. She did a lot of things in racing. Like she did Extreme E, she did Indy Next, she did another things I don't remember exactly, but like it's just very different, and this like help her get like amazing experience and different things, and she really is a like role model. Like I was talking to her about like being a woman in motorsports and everything, and yeah, she's really inspiring, and she just like keep pushing every time to just make her place. And yeah, she told me also that her dream team will be like an all-woman team in motorsports, and I think that's just like amazing. Like I want to be part of that. Yeah.
Sure.
And she also let them sit down in her car.
Yeah.
Right before qualifying, which we all know can be a little bit iffy sometimes. Most drivers will not let anybody touch their car, but she let all 3 of the girls sit down in her car, which was amazing. So now that we have Eleonora here, why don't you talk about meeting Jamie and what it was like to sit in her car?
I think it was really cool to meet her and talk to her. She had a lot of cool stuff to say, and it was really cool to see how everything in her day, during a race day and everything, how much she has to do, and sitting in the car was really awesome. She not only did she let us sit in, but she explained everything in there. She was really helpful, and she went out of her way she didn't have to, but she went out of her way to make it a good experience for us. So.
Let me ask the two of you a quick foundational question here, because I don't think we got into this. And Sophie, are you still in school? Where are you in school? What does your graduation timeline look like? And tell us where you are in your life right now.
So I just finished high school. I'm doing 2 years of college in computer science. I started last Monday, and after that, I'm going to do a degree in mechanical engineering, and I want to do a master's in motorsports engineering.
Excellent, very cool.
Great.
And how about you, Eleonora? Where are you in your educational process?
So a couple weeks ago, I started high school. I'm in 9th grade, and after high school, I want to go to a tech school or something.
That's very cool.
I want to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
So here's the cool thing. She actually missed her first day of high school to go to Indianapolis.
Eleonora, your priorities are exactly in the right place. No. So, and Sophie, I guess you're in the right position in your educational life. Has anyone mentioned to you what Formula SAE is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, will you be going to a school that has a program for that?
Yeah. But in Quebec, our school system isn't the same like in the US. So we have college, and after we have university, but it's two different things. So college is 2 years before university, and after that we have university with Formula SAE and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Because if for those of you who don't know what Formula SAE is, it's which I did when I was in college on the Georgia Tech team. It's a competition among engineering schools where they build a small race car, race it around an autocross course in a parking lot. There's also competition for acceleration, skid pad, a mechanical engineering presentation of how you came up with the design of the car. So it's a very broad ranged program, and if you go to any major racing series, you will find lots of team members came out of Formula SAE programs.
So Club Athena is actually one of the talent pipelines into SAE. Those colleges fight over my girls to get them to come.
Oh man, that's awesome.
We are known now for being the pipeline that comes out of high school. You go into SAE in college, and then from there you can basically choose whichever company you want, because I have actually talked to employers and they're like, if you have now Club Athena and SAE on your resume, everything else goes in the trash. We talk to those. So
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very impressive.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So Eleonora, when you got there, I mean, obviously you traveled to the track with your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to sit in the car. What were some of the highlights? What did you take away from the whole experience? What are pieces of information that you're filing away to keep in your mind for the future?
So, I mean, I've been interested in motorsports for a long time, and I've always watched it. But it's such a different thing being there, especially for a high-level event like IndyCar or NASCAR. And you can just see how many people are on the team and how many people who have small jobs work together just to put that car out on the track. And I think it's really awesome to see every last bit. So the people who do the tires, the people who do the telemetry, all of that cool stuff to see. Anywhere you go on the paddock or anywhere near the stands where the cars are, every person there has a job that is necessary. And so I think it was really cool to be able to see all that.
So tell them what you learned how to do while we were at our visit with Firestone. And this was awesome. Eleonora, when she sees something, she's going to go for it. You're not going to stop her. So
yeah. So we were at Firestone and they were doing their talk, and then so earlier that day we drove by it or something, and they have all these stands that are tire mounting areas. So that's how they, put together the IndyCar tires. And I asked if I could put one on, and he said, "You can't do it yourself, but I can help you." And so one of the people there helped me through the whole process of mounting a tire. We put it on the machine, we inflated it, we picked it up, we balanced it. We got to do the whole process, and it was really awesome to see. I mean, all I had to do was ask, and I got something that wasn't in the schedule, it wasn't planned, but it was definitely one of the highlights. So
that is pretty cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, we now have Sashi joining us too, and she is the student advisory president for Club Athena, and she has gone to the Portland Grand Prix last year for one of these events, and now she was one of the leaders at the at the Indianapolis. So, Sashi, why don't you kind of talk about the differences between the two?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, I got the pleasure to go to both Portland as well as Indianapolis. I definitely felt like Portland was a lot smaller than Indianapolis. There was a lot going on during the Indy car race. I had the pleasure to meet with a lot of people, talk to a lot of engineers in HPD, as well as just communicate with the drivers and learn about the process of racing and like the whole behind the scenes that goes on. So I personally loved both experiences. The big differences, again, was just size, as well as just like kind of the drivers that we were focusing on. In Indianapolis, the driver was Jamie Chadwick, which was super female-led, and it was great to talk to her for a long time and just learn her experience. But in Portland, it was still Jimmy Johnson, and it was great to talk to him too. But overall, like, I feel like Indy was such a unique experience, especially because we met Jamie.
That's very cool. It sounds like you guys had a great time overall. And Sophia, I didn't get to ask you this question, but what are some of the pieces that you are remembering that are going to be important to your future? You said you handed out a lot of business cards. So was there someone in particular you wanted to meet besides Jamie?
Yeah, I really wanted to meet like the engineer, like Serena from Anda. Like, she was one of like the person I really had a great talk with her. Just, like understanding more like the engineer and the collecting data like of it. And yeah, also I talked with like the vice president of Andretti Motorsports. Yeah, he had really like nice advice, and like he just hear me out, me and my story, and yeah. So I think he's like a great contact to have like for the future.
Yeah, no kidding.
And yeah, so I think my last person is like Marisa Andretti. Like, she went to talk to us, like make time in her busy day, and she just like gave us our card and told us just like to text her if we have question or need advice and anything. So yeah, she was like a great contact to have too.
I'm so totally jealous. I admit it. Gosh.
I would just like to point out, Mickey, you don't take us on great field trips like this.
I think you guys would be more uncontrollable, and you're adults.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
My three girls were like calm, cool, and collected. You guys would be like the little ones, like running everywhere. You have those little springy lines, connecting to one person. Yep. Like a 3-year-old.
Like, oh, yeah, what's that? Hey, what's that?
Dawn and me on retractable leashes.
Yes.
Yep. You couldn't keep me away from those cars, that's for sure.
It'd be children in a candy store. That is certain. I would be like touching everything. I would probably break something in the process. That would be par for the course, actually. Yes. So, all right. So we have questions for you. I was telling Anne Sophie this. So Eleonora and Sachi don't know this yet, but I have a handful of questions that we ask every guest. So I'm going to start. Just going to jump around and do these questions at random. So, Anne Sophie, what is your dream car?
My dream car is like a pink Porsche 911 GT3 Air.
Pink Porsche
Yeah.
Porsche 911 GT3.
Mine too.
I'd take it in orange. I'd have to have it in orange, not pink, but that's okay.
I would take it in any color whatsoever. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how about you, Eleonora? What's your dream car?
I think my dream car is the new Ferrari SF90 FXX.
Oh my God!
I would want it in red.
Yeah,
of course.
It probably only comes in red. Maybe
Yeah.
black. I don't know, but
that or an Enzo.
Or an Enzo.
Oh,
I see. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah.
Question number 2. This one's for Eleonora and for Sachi. Eleonora, question number 2 is: where is your next road trip going to be?
I think we're gonna go to planned, or just if I could choose any.
Planned.
Okay. I think my next road trip, I think it's to Carolina. I don't know which one, north or south.
One of the Carolinas. Got it. Just for vacation. You got relatives there?
Yeah, we have cousins, something.
Cousins of cousins. It's a family thing. Sure. How about you,
Yeah.
Sachi? Where's your next road trip going to be? Sachi, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah. My dream road trip, I guess, right now, or my next one would probably be, I want to cross country with my friends. I'm heading into senior year. After this year, I'm going junior, then senior year. So kind of like a fun trip. My parents love driving, so we've done cross countries in the past. So something similar to that.
Okay. Got it. This question is for both Sachi and Anne Sophie. What's the most fascinating thing you've seen on the road or maybe in someone's garage? Sachi?
Honestly, the gas stations are probably the most fascinating, different states. I was driving to Indianapolis and I stopped at this gas station that had the most famous apple pie or something. And I had a slice. It was delicious. I swear you'll find the most interesting things on the road.
I love that answer. How about you, Anne Sophie? What's the most interesting thing you've seen either on the road or in someone's garage?
I went to visit a shop in Quebec and everything, and just seeing the car all apart, in piece. It's so fascinating and interesting. Just seeing all the piece and all where this goes, and just yeah.
All right, that's a good answer. I like that answer a lot too. So the last, I've got random questions. One question for each of you. We always ask our guests something silly. Sophie, and Sophie, sorry. What is the best type of cheese?
I'm lactose intolerant, so the best type of cheese is one with non-lactose in it.
Best type of cheese is one that's not going to kill you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or make you explode. Yes.
Right. So no lactose for Anne Sophie. Got it. Eleonora, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn?
I wore in 4th grade, I wore a bright sequin bomber jacket, and it was off Amazon, and everywhere I went there were sequins on the ground, my chair, everything at school, and by the end of a couple weeks it was just completely bald.
I had the same problem.
But in your case, Dave, the sequins just generate naturally. It's just
they do. It's spontaneously.
Right.
Wherever I go, sequins follow.
Sachi, my question for you is: if you could make the clouds rain down anything, what would they rain down?
This is a new one.
To be honest, sprinkles. I like ice cream sprinkles.
Right.
I don't know. I love sprinkles on my ice cream, and I feel like that would be the coolest thing ever.
That is very cool. Thank you. Thanks to the three of you for sharing a bit of your experiences with us today. And please do stay in touch with us either through Loxley or you can contact us directly. We'd like to hear where your futures go. And even if you choose not to stick with the automotive world, I'm always curious to see what happens next. So, please stay in touch. And if we can help you with anything, don't hesitate to call.
Quick shout out that as we've been doing this, I've been totally cyber stalking STEM Club Athena on Instagram. Club Athena is certainly something that we at Think About Cars have really, really supported and love being connected with. But if you want to see some of the really cool shots from their trip to Indy, go to Instagram and look for STEM Club Athena.
STEM Club Athena. This is awesome. Loxley, is there anything else we can do to point people in your direction? Your website, for instance, or how do girls get involved?
Yeah, so we're having a big rush in the month of September, and this is to bring in 1,000 more members. So, and we're only opening it up for 1,000 members across the USA. So do the math. That's not going to be that many girls per state, but we want to really start to elevate this and really start to support more young girls as they go into their career. And we are the talent pipeline going into the big companies, and we're working with some really incredible companies right now, giving teenagers. And it's funny when I say this, and Sashi and I have had a couple of conversations about it, because I said, we're a teenage recruitment firm. Does that scare you as a teenager to hear that? But, this is the real deal. We're going to save 10 years of your life because you can get on the right track. You're going to know what you want to do. You're not going to be, sitting there in your mid-30s going, oh my God, I don't like this. And I just spent $100,000 on a degree that I hate. And now I wanted to totally change my life. And my spouse is going to just kill me when I tell them this, but I can't keep doing this job I do. And so, we're taking teenagers and we're showing them everything that's out there so they find the things that match their strength and they find the job that they really love. And they go out there and they do it. And by the time they hit their late 20s, they're already on a management path that most 40-year-olds want to be on. So that's what Club Athena is all about. We're about getting teenagers empowered to go out there and chase down their dreams and make them happen.
Yep, and we're happy to support you in that endeavor for sure. So, the thing and thank you again for being our guest today. I was going to wrap up the program, but it occurs to me we didn't do Grand Trivia Auto. Tim, have you got something for us today?
I do, sure.
Well, okay. So let me explain to our guests. So, Anne-Sophie, Eleonora, Sachi, we always ask a trivia question, and if I'd been paying attention, we would have asked the question at the top of the show. But we'll get everybody to answer the question once Tim asks it. Tim, take it away.
Okay, we're going to go with American automotive manufacturers. So, Detroit is known as the Motor City, but what Midwestern U.S. city was the home of the manufacturer Studebaker?
So Detroit is known as Motor City, but which city was the home for Studebaker?
Right. Studebaker, was lasted on its own until the 1950s or so.
Something like that. Yeah.
We have choices. All good tests in life are multiple choice. So was it Auburn, Indiana, Kenosha, Wisconsin, South Bend, Indiana, or Toledo, Ohio?
I know. I think Dave knows.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let me kind of go around here for the people who we're going to go with our young people who probably may never have heard of Studebaker before first. So, Sashi, do you have a guess?
I want to say Indiana,
okay,
but I'm not sure.
And we have our choice of either Auburn, Indiana, or South Bend, Indiana.
I'm going to say South Bend, Indiana.
Okay. All right. Eleonora?
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay. Anne-Sophie?
I'm going to say C.
C. The answer is always C, apparently. Right? That's what they tell me. Mickey?
Oh, man, this is hard. What was my Ohio choice again?
Toledo.
Holy Toledo. I'm torn between Indiana and Ohio, right? I'm torn between what was it, Bend? My brain is gone.
Yeah. You had South Bend, Indiana,
South
Toledo,
Bend.
Ohio.
I'm gonna say it's Toledo.
Okay. All right. Dave?
South Bend.
Okay. Loxley?
Okay, I was going to guess off the top of my head St. Louis, so I'm glad I did not say that out loud. But I'm going to go with Auburn because nobody's chosen Auburn yet. So
okay, all right, and Dawn.
I wanted to go with Toledo, but I know it's South Bend. I just know it is.
All right. So just to talk about who it's not, Toledo, Ohio was the home of Willys, which became later famous for the Jeep brand, which then became a part of the Chrysler Corporation. Kenosha, Wisconsin was the home of Nash, who I think they got absorbed maybe also by Chrysler. I can't remember. But our fine folks at Studebaker were based in South Bend, Indiana, which was answer C. So good guessing there.
Good guessing. So everyone who guessed South Bend got it right. Excellent. We should find a way to give out prizes for this thing at some point. But again, anyway, Loxley and Sophie, Eleonora, Sachi, thanks for being our guests. And to everyone else, thanks for joining us for another episode of The Thing About Cars. If you have suggestions for things we might cover on this show, please drop us a line. The website is thethingaboutcars.com. In the meantime, everybody take care. Have fun on the road and be careful. We'll see you with another episode in about a week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Thing About Cars. We'll see you on the road.